Hey, Mr. Hines,
Yes, sir.
once again, give us the information of where people can go and get the book
Okay.
and where they can pick it up.
Okay, we're on Amazon.com. We're on Bookmasters. We're on Atlas. We're on Kindle. We're on Barnes & Noble. And you can also get it at crushroads.com.
So are you in the Barnes & Noble? If I went to Barnes & Noble in Tupelo, that the book is there, they can go in and get the book or either order it offline or
Oh, yeah,
Amazon.com.
offline right now. Offline right now. It's going pretty good, yeah.
Well, you know, and when you look at it this way, and I know you said you never lived through a situation like this. What was your concept? What was the first breath that you took when you heard what she had to say? Did you believe her, first of all?
I'm not sure, but I said I know people can't be treating their children like this. But it is true. You know, I heard an incident last night up around Tupelo somewhere where this guy was best with the internet. He's a pastor. You know, he was in the library.
Yeah.
You know, and I just can't believe it, but it's happening, and I might as well believe it, and we're going to try to do something about it.
You know, it's amazing how people will take advantage of children. You know, and there should be stricter laws out there that say, you know, if you do something like this, then you need to pay a harsh penalty because you paid a harsh penalty. Your childhood was diminished. Your childhood was destroyed. I mean, you missed a lot of things that a lot of people had.
Right.
And so, but do you think that it cultivated you into being the woman that you are, to be the informative woman that you are, to make sure other people who are going through it find some type of relief?
I feel that I'm very well cultivated now. I do have my moments, but I think that it's to be expected from what I went through. But I do want the message to get out, to let these perpetrators know that if you do this, there is a law against it, and it's a crime to do this. It's a crime, and you can go to jail. But people have to open up and talk about it before anything can happen.
If you set your father down and he would listen, what is the one thing that you want him to hear? And just sit and listen to you. What would you want him to know and hear about you and what he did?
I would want him to hear and know that he violated, I think, a beautiful child, a beautiful young adult, because I was.
Exactly.
I was God gifted. The community called me a prodigy child because I could play music. I started playing music at 2.5 years old.
By ear?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And I would want him to know he missed all of that.
Yeah. So he lost something simply by being the man that he was and not the father that he should have been.
Yes.
He lost. What about your mother? If you had to sit her down and ask her the same question, what would you want her to know?
I would want her to know that I'm really surprised that she didn't protect me because I felt like she should have. But I also would want her to know that I forgive her.
You forgive her, but not necessarily your father.
I forgive him too. I had a longer time forgiving him than I did her, but I forgive him too.
Do you visit?
I've only visited once. I don't think that forgiving him and visiting him is the same to me.
Does he recognize you?
Yeah, he recognized me. He knows who I am. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I don't go visit him as much now is because he'll bring it up.
He will actually bring it up himself?
He'll bring it up.
Wow.
Because
so he's not consciously...
He don't think nothing wrong with it.
He's not apologetic, period.
So I stay away because it takes two. Forgiveness comes two ways. It don't come just one. If I go to him right now and say, you know, forgive me, I forgive you, and he'll say, I don't think I did nothing wrong. What you ask me that for? Because he have done that.
Wow. You know, that's amazing. Because I look back at people like Governor George Wallace, who was probably one of the biggest racists come out of Alabama. But on his deathbed, he asked for forgiveness. You know, I think that people have to understand, you know, maybe it's the Alzheimer's, but I mean, if he remembers it that well, the Alzheimer's is not that bad. But I guess, you know, you are a phenomenal person to have gone through such a situation and having to handle this and then put it back out there. Now, when you read your book and it brings back those memories, you know, how do you cultivate it into a thought process when you speak to people about it?
Well, at first, I it was difficult for me to cultivate it when I speak to other people, and it was also difficult for me to listen to other people speak to me about their situation. But I went through a healing process. And like I said, I went through detoxification to remove the spirit so that I could be able to listen and also to reveal my book and my story to other people without getting depressed.
I want you to give the locations for the pick up the book. We got less than a minute.
Okay.
Well, they can go through it one more time.
All right. We get it at Amazon.com, Bookmasters.com, Atlas.com, Kennels, Barnes & Noble, and at Crush Rose, www.acrushrose.com.
And also the local library in Columbus.
The local library.
Yeah, the local
Well, you know
library.
what? I mean, this is a phenomenal story. And I think that, you know, when you have something like that and you can get over it, you know, it takes a lot of intestinal fortitude to get over something like this. You know, I think that you are probably, because I've only known a few people that have gone through stuff like this and actually was able to forgive. You know, and I guess that's where that thing comes out, WWJD, what would Jesus do? And so as Christians, we have to find a way to put it aside and make sure that it's a part of our forgiveness process. And, you know, I wish you well. I think that you should talk to people. You should let them know what went on. And I hope that your family doesn't hold that against you. I know Miss McKinney, who used to be on, I think, a show called Facts of Life or something, she told about her father, and her whole family felt like, well, I may have the story wrong, but you told it, in I guess, in the inspiration of helping people.
Right.
And I think that is a phenomenal thing. So I appreciate you stopping in.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Hines for
Thank
coming
you.
by and
Thank you.
and you all making this. It's always interesting to know how people can recover from a situation like this.